What am I supposed to start this video off? Well, AutoML automates modeling and not thinking. So to be more technical here, I've chosen the data set to work with LTV of bank or any other, it must have been some fintech company, financial technology. I've chosen the data set. I thought it's the right one. It would be so, but I don't have yet any practical experience in LTV. So LTV, which is lifetime customer value, it measures how much a person spends over the course of interaction with the company. Lifetime customer value is a business metric that is dependent on so many more other metrics that it needs to be a large data set of at least a very rich data set of behaviors and transactions to train a model to more precisely understand and predict. And so the problem of mine has been that I had perfect feature and redundancy. This is the term used to show that one feature can be mathematically calculated from other ones as a feature, and I have any other features like average value per transaction or how long a person has been active with the company. The model will mathematically reconstruct that feature that I'm trying to predict, so my target, and it will, by reconstructing LTV, it will give us the same results as, so e.g. overfitting. Obviously in my case it was total transactions multiplied by average value per transaction, and it reconstructed the whole LTV. So it doesn't matter if I drop the column which I'm trying to predict, then at the end it will reconstruct and the model will be overfitted because therefore it has learned from reconstruction. To conclude this, the first thing to ask myself when I'm choosing the data set, what is the metric I'm trying to predict? And the second one, make a research if this data set will be enough for that metric to predict. With data leakage, there's nothing to hide, 0.99, so literally perfect model, it predicts perfectly. But 0.36 for LTV is very honest and realistic. Unless you have very rich transactional behavioral data set, it's very hard to predict LTV based on 7,000 rows of information. Because the company, usually fintech company, has a lot of data, has a lot of transactions, has a lot of intrinsic value, and you need to utilize all of that in order to make some meaningful predictions. Although my prediction of the model has been very realistic, as 0.36 is literally in the middle, because the honest one, if you are trying to predict LTV, is from 0.2 to 0.5. So what am I about to do? I've uploaded a video actually on X before I did it. I had a plan. So first of all, I'm gonna duplicate the whole script. I'm gonna upload it into the folder, which is remote repository basically. I will run the program with and without leakage, document it, and explain everything in README or somewhere in the documentation. This is the thing that is quite relevant in regards to the following point. AutoML skips assumption. You have to guide it. It only automates one stage within the whole workflow. There is data inspection, then there is pre-processing and EDA, then there is a feature engineering, and only then you start doing the modeling. And this is when you, for the most part, will be incorporating the AutoML as a module mostly. One point to mention that it's very important to document everything in a proper way. And documentation is not only words, it's about visualizations as well. For example, if you want to document and explain everything in your repository, on your X or whatever it is, you have to make the comparison between the performances. And if you can't visualize it, and if you can't make it appealing enough, then how am I able to explain then to the business I'm pitching it to if I cannot explain it in a simple terms? It's one thing to make evaluation, it's one thing to build a model, it's one thing to do everything correct and build a model that's going to be making perfect predictions, but at the end of the day, if you're working with business metrics, your end goal is to present it to businesses to solve their problem. If you cannot communicate that in a very elegant and simple way, they will not understand how are you gonna improve their revenue generation, or maybe how are you gonna save them money. So, because with this, any AutoML model, any ML model aims to improve something. You either cut the cost of any operation or enhance that operation so it's gonna bring you more revenue. This is all that models can do, but not knowing how to explain that simply and understanding the visuals and the graphs, or maybe even one of the things I'm aiming for the next project to do, because obviously with this one I cannot do it in any sense, is a case study. I want to take any real business with a real data set. This is actually the real data set that I've taken, but it was very, I guess it was a very short one for just the learning purposes. I want to take a real one and I want to analyze it, and then I want to make a case study. So in that case study, I will need to learn exactly how to explain to them how am I supposed to help them with their business, with their money. I'm saying this predominantly to myself, as this is just a reflection of my thoughts throughout the whole week. And another aspect which is not less important in AutoML is deployment in machine learning overall. But in the nearest weeks, I still be building, but in the nearest weeks, I will still be building the projects and learning from them. My next step is to write a case study for a specific business problem that I'm gonna solve with either AutoML or any other, either H2O or any other one. So these has been my thoughts on the kind of issues that I had this week.